Hey guys, so don't mind my lack of makeup and messy look. It's been a long day. I had a really nice Christmas and a really nice visit with my family, and then Christmas Day I started coming down with a cold, so I've been struggling with that. My CPAP machine goes just over my nose, and the problem is when my sinuses are clogged, the air can't get through, and so I haven't been sleeping very good. Excuse me. And then today I finally got my IVC filter out. It's out, guys. Oh, God. So this is what it looks like. And honestly, that is huge to me. To think that that thing was in an artery in my body. I mean, when I looked it up online, you know, or talked to people about it, they're like, oh yeah, it's millimeters. There's no way. That's like 1.5 inches to me. But it's out. I'm not going to dwell on it. So, my experience, I went there and I was paranoid that they weren't going to give me any sedation like last time. So I kept like pushing for that, and so it went okay. They did give me some sedation, but I was still pretty aware. There's something with my arteries. When they put it in, they kind of found this too. They almost thought I had a condition, and I can't remember what it was called, but where you have two aortas, because there is something funny in there. So when they put it in, that's what the doctor was trying to tell me, was you might have this condition where you have two aortas. Like, this is really weird. And I'm like, great. So anyway, when they went in to take it out again, like they fed the wire and they ended up in a different spot. And so they had to figure out how to get to the right spot, and I don't know. It was just a pain, and they had to cut the spot open more and more twice, like open it more. So I haven't even looked. I haven't even looked to see how big it is. It's swollen, obviously. It's sore, like it hurts to kind of turn my head. And this was done at about 9 a.m. this morning, and it's 5:30 right now. So, and then they put a sheath down, so like a straw, basically, you know, down, because it goes down under my heart. And to get it, well, I guess the filter had turned, and so they had a hard time doing that too. I have the worst luck. And so then they had to take that sheath out, make a cut, do a bigger sheath. And by then I could, you know, the numbing stuff was kind of wearing off, and I was just like, let's just get it done. So they finally got it out. But in the meantime, because it passes your heart, they call it tickling your heart, my heart started racing, and when it wasn't slowing down. So by the time they got me back into my room, it was at 190, so 190 beats per minute. So that's uncomfortable and makes you feel, you know, bad. I mean, it feels scary. And so, you know, they tried to like calm me down. We turned out the lights, put an ice pack on my neck, kind of put a cold rag on my head, just trying to calm, but it wasn't working. And so they finally called in a cardiologist, and then the cardiologist gave me a medication that is supposed to shock my heart. And I'm like, oh God, like it just so scary. And so they were like, okay, prepare, because it's gonna feel like your whole body is squeezing in on itself. And I'm like, how long does it last? And they said, well, just a few seconds. So they gave me the medicine, and everybody's standing there staring at me, and I'm like, you know, I don't know. At least I can laugh about it now. Maybe it's the pain meds. I don't know why I can laugh, but so it did. Like it I mean, it didn't feel like it was squeezing, but it just kind of felt like everything was like just weird for, maybe 10 seconds. And then it passed, and then it worked immediately. So my heart rate went from 190, 170 to 110. And obviously I felt a lot better. So then, let's see. They still didn't like that it was over 100, so they kept watching me for a long time. And they wanted me to eat, but they didn't really have many options. I told them I can't really eat a sandwich. So they ended up giving me chicken noodle soup, like Campbell's chicken noodle soup. But God, it's so salty. And I guess, I haven't been eating salty stuff like that. So even just the broth, like, I was so thirsty. And I could have water, but of course, I can't really fill up on water anymore. So even drinking water, I was full, but I still felt so thirsty. And so they gave me ice chips. So I must have had 4 cups of ice chips. And I even took one for the road and just chomped that ice. And yeah, so I'm glad it's over. Thank goodness. Thank you all for your prayers and good thoughts. And this should be my last hospital trip for a long time. Let's see. So today is December 28th. Yeah. And so I go back to work on January 8th. So I think I'm ready. I'm nervous. I still don't have like a really good routine, but I think getting back to work will help me get a routine back in. I am doing really good with water. I drink a lot of water and tea and stuff, so that I feel good about. But I'm finding that I can eat so little at a time that, they're wanting me to get 60 to 80 grams of protein, and eating 3 times a day, I just don't see how that's possible. So I'm eating more like 5 or 6 times a day. And I know that's not ideal, and down the road my dietitian and nutritionist want me to only be eating 3 times a day, but I don't see how I can meet that protein requirement doing that. So that's tricky, and I've sent an email to the dietitian that works at the bariatric center to kind of get some more tips on that and get some more feedback from some fellow people on YouTube and Facebook that I've talked to. They say eating 5 or 6 times a day is more normal for them. So, I see both sides, so I get it. What else? I am starting to tell, like, on my body that I'm losing weight. I don't know any numbers because I don't have a scale at home. And I don't really go anywhere. I'm still over 400 pounds, or at least I assume I am, but I'm pretty sure I am. So it's hard to find a scale, that goes up that high. So next week I might stop in at the bariatric center and hop on their scale, just because I'm kind of curious. I'm feeling a little bit self-conscious, like, now that I'm eating food and not just purees, that, I'm not losing as fast, or what if I'm gaining weight, or, I consider them eating disorder thoughts. That goes back to my eating disorder of the many years of shame and being, chained to that scale and shaming myself and making myself feel bad about my weight. I don't want to be doing that. However, I kind of want to check in, at least once a month, once every 2 weeks, something like that, just to kind of, check in. I do have faith that I am following the rules, and that this tool is made to work. So, and I do feel like I can see it, in my face and in my chest, and in my body. When I get out of the shower, the towel goes around me farther. When I get in my car, there's more room. Those are just a few examples of stuff that I'm noticing, and I do feel like I should be taking more pictures of my body, but then I feel like I'm not losing that much yet. Like, why document it? It's not really showing. But then I also have those moments of, yes, it is showing. So anyway, I'm rambling now. So that's my check-in. Still got this cold. I hope it doesn't last forever. Because, you know, I still have a lot that I want to really get done, and I'd like to kind of do some, I did buy a food saver, so I'd like to kind of cook some meals ahead and put them in the freezer for when I start back up to work. I'm kind of picturing like, you know, little meatballs and having like two little, depending on how big they are, maybe just one, but I'm picturing like two little meatballs with a little bit of marinara in the food saver and just stick it in the freezer, and then when I'm ready, just microwave it and whatever. So that's an example. Or same thing with chicken and some sort of sauce. I mean, I can't really just eat like a dried chicken breast, you know, it has to have some sort of moisture to it. So but I'm looking on Pinterest and getting a lot of cool recipes and lots of ideas. Now it's just time to make the food and get it prepped. So that's my plan for next week. So anyway, guys, I hope everybody's doing good, and I will talk to you soon.